to the Elevate Talk Show. I am your host, Deanna Johnson-Coffin.
And I'm Adriana Coffin, your co-host, and we're the mother-daughter talk show that's here to elevate your family. Now, if you haven't done so already, please take a second to like this video and to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our latest episodes.
Yes, and we have a great episode planned for you today. In our Around the Town segment, the Elevate Show takes you to Panola Mountain State Park in Henry County, Georgia. Panola Mountain State Park is a great place to go for recreation. They have just a lovely facility. It's just pristine. It's a beautiful place to go and recreate. So we're going to talk a little bit, or show you a little bit about that in a little bit. In our In the Spotlight segment, we're going to be talking to Emmanuel and Phyllis Loiacono. They are the owners of the Atlanta Piano Tuning by Ear company. It's a family-owned business, and they're going to share with us just the joys and the challenges of working together as a mother-son team. And then in our how-to segment, Adriana and I are going to be talking about how to get your kids to do chores, how to help you get your kids to do chores around the house, right?
Yeah.
So just some really good things. Also, with that topic being said, we want to ask you a question. We'd like you to answer that in the segment section of our YouTube channel. What kinds of things do you do, or do your children do to help around the house? What kinds of things do your children do to help around the house? Please answer that question in the segment, in the comments segment of our YouTube channel. Now we're going to take a little bit of a break, but don't go away because we will be right back. Welcome back to the Elevate Talk Show. In our In the Spotlight segment, we sat down with Phyllis and Emmanuel Loiacono. They are the owners and operators of the Atlanta Piano Tuning by Ear. It's a family-run business. Emmanuel, also known as Manny, has been a piano technician for 10 years, and he's been recognized for his expertise in piano tuning by ear, piano regulation, and piano voicing. Manny graduated from the Art Institute of Atlanta, where he majored in music and photography. He apprenticed with his father, Emmanuel Loiacono Sr., who actually passed away in January of 2020. He apprenticed with his dad for several years and learned this art of piano tuning by ear. Now, Phyllis Loiacono, his mom, she's a graduate of Cornell University and a former teacher and a vocal artist. She manages the administrative part of the business. The mother-son team, they talk candidly to me about the joys of working together and also about the challenges that come with running a family business. So take a look at my interview with Manny and Phyllis Loiacono. Well, welcome to the Elevate Talk Show. Phyllis and Manny, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. I know, Manny, you're out and about all over the city tuning pianos. And Phyllis, I know you are doing all kinds of administrative work, so I appreciate you guys taking some time to talk with us. So let's get straight to it. The Atlanta Piano Tuning by Ear is a family-owned business. And I just want you to tell my viewers a little bit about what you do. Give us a little bit of backstory, a little bit of history about the business. Can you do that for us?
Sure.
And this would be for Manny.
Okay. So our business was actually founded in 1974 by my mother and father. And my dad was a performer in New York City, singing. And mom was graduating from Cornell.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So he, I guess he was 17 when he was training at Steinway in New York City. And so one thing led to another. Mom went to audition for my dad as a backup singer.
Oh, wow.
And that's how they met.
Wow.
And then they wound up moving to Georgia in 1974.
Yes.
And starting this piano tuning business.
That's amazing.
And mom was
Yeah. And
He was also,
Phyllis, tell us a little bit more about that. You can't tell me that you were a backup singer for your husband without there being more of a story to that. I gotta
There's,
know
there's,
more.
there's more of the story than we have
Yes,
time
fill us
for.
in.
But yeah, he was putting together, he was a pretty well-known name in New York under the name of Rick Daniels.
Yeah.
And simultaneously to playing at the Copacabana in New York and playing the Persian Room, Big Plaza Hotel.
Yes.
Yes. At that time, simultaneously, he was training at Steinway in the factory as a piano tuner. So basically, he had a double life.
Yeah.
And I kind of had a double life because I went to Cornell University, French literature teacher, degree, but always had this passion for singing. So I auditioned for him and we wound up deciding to go into a music career together, but never abandoned his piano tuning or my teaching. So we always had a fallback. And when we moved to Atlanta, and we were still working on our music together, he established his piano tuning business in our little apartment in Atlanta, when we first got married back in 1974.
Yes.
And we had no idea how to go about doing a business. I wasn't a business major and he wasn't either. And somebody said, well, just get in a box of index cards and keep a file of anybody you tune for and keep it in that box.
Shoebox.
Wow.
Yeah, a shoebox. And to this day, even though we're computerized,
really,
I have probably 20 shoeboxes because I don't want to let go of that.
That's amazing. What a terrific story. Now, your father, Manny, was a master piano tuning technician, and I know he passed away January of 2020. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Now, what does it mean to you as the son to be able to carry on your father's legacy, specifically as a piano tuner?
Yeah, well, it means everything. I'm honored to follow in his footsteps and keep this special business successful. Try to take care of his customers the way that he did. He was the best piano tuner that I ever met. He would never pressure me to go into the business. But I went with him on a few calls early on, and I just kind of fell in love with it.
Really?
I tried all sorts of things, all sorts of career paths, but
really, this
was always there, and he was willing to teach me, and so it just jumped right in. I think it was 2009, maybe 2008 or 2009 when he first started teaching me. And he would come home from work after a full day of tuning pianos and then sit with me at the piano and start teaching me. He'd always say, I'm so happy to be doing this.
Oh, that's amazing. When I Google piano tuning businesses in Metro Atlanta, several companies come up. I actually did do this. So what kind of services do you offer? What's so special about your business that makes it stand out from all the rest? And both of you can answer that. Phyllis, maybe you go first and then Manny.
Okay.
Well, first of all, Manny tunes by ear, not electronically.
Okay.
And that's a world of difference right there.
Right.
Because somebody who tunes by ear, it requires years and years of training, either at a factory, if you have the luxury to do that, which Manny Sr. did, or by somebody willing to apprentice you, which Manny Jr. has that.
That's right.
And then after you learn the skill, you have to be able to practice on a volume of pianos to be able to perfect the craft, which
your cheap little spinets all the way to your 9-foot concert grands, you know.
You have to be able to tune the gamut of that. And Manny Sr. arranged for Manny Jr. to work at Cooper Pianos in Atlanta and in their warehouse. So he had hundreds of pianos.
One of the things that makes it stand out is the broad types of instruments that we, as far as pianos go, that we have tuned.
Wow.
You know, like I said, your little spinet to your $250,000 Schimmel concert grand.
Wow.
So you really know pianos inside and out. And
when you tune by ear, tuning by ear as opposed to electronic tuning allows you to make all kinds of adjustments, personal adjustments to that individual piano.
Yes.
Whether it's the height of the ceiling or hardwood floors or just that personality. Pianos are like little people. They're people. They're individual, and they're not cookie cutter. And you can't match, if they match up to a meter, then there's something wrong.
Okay.
They shouldn't match up to a meter.
Piano is an imperfect instrument. You cannot match it up to a perfect device. But what makes it unique to other tuners, like electronic tuners, ear tuning, I'm tuning by listening to the intervals.
Yes.
And how they affect one another, how they beat together.
Wow.
And, you know, electronic tuning, you're hitting one note and the machine is interpreting how it should sound.
Sure.
That's what makes me really unique. You could also be an ear tuner and not have technique.
Yeah.
So I also have learned technique that allows me to make my tunings more stable. I can offer a customer a much more stable piano tuning by the way that I hit the key, by the way that I'm adjusting my tuning wrench. Those are things that you don't see it in most ear tuners.
No.
Which I've learned. Those are things I had to learn on my own. You know, my dad taught me ear tuning, but those things just pick up after years of tuning. So I offer that, and another thing I offer that a lot of technicians don't is just personal time with the customer.
Definitely.
I'm like spending at least 45 minutes in some cases extra. Just talking to my customer about hobbies or anything and everything that might not be related to music.
That's right. I can attest to that because we have been customers of yours.
Yes.
And you have done that. So he's telling the truth.
Oh, yeah. I love it. You know?
Yes.
I love that customer interaction.
Yeah, it's wonderful. There's nothing like customer service.
So does my mother. She absolutely loves talking to these customers.
They do. Well, they become our family. And, you know, Manny sees them every year. I talk to them every year. I've spoken to some of the same people for 30 years and I've never met them personally. They recognize my voice.
Yes.
And Manny sees the differences in them from year to year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Get to learn about their, you know, changes in their life, and they learn about mine. So it's just a lot more than a service.
Yeah. That personal touch, I don't think you can manufacture that. That's special. Now, Phyllis, we talked about Manny some. You are in the office. I mean, he's out in the field, but you're doing all the administrative stuff. You touched on it a little bit just now, but tell me, what does an average day look like for you when you're in the office?
My office is anywhere I am.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
My office could be Publix.
Right.
My office could be, you know, a department store, but
on a boat, getting ready to water ski.
Seriously, I will, if that phone is with me, I will answer it. And because I feel that customers deserve that immediacy. If they call and you answer in real time, it is very significant to them. Definitely. And so, you know, in the beginning, when we first started the business and I was teaching school, at the end of the day, getting the kids, Manny was a little child at the time. Getting them dinner, returning the calls in the evening. That was my day then. But now, basically, this is what I do full time.
Right. Sure.
And that allows me the luxury of being able to answer that phone and book the calls for people. So basically, I do that. I do marketing.
Yes.
I will see if somebody has written a review. I'll make sure that Manny knows that's been done so she can reply and answer those, which are very important.
Or she can reply.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you know, that's the administrative part, making sure that people are reminded when it's time for them to tune their piano again, because the follow-up is very important.
It is.
And, you know, I also find some time in the day to practice the piano because Manny actually got me.
What has been the secret to your success as a mother, son, you know, team, a business team? What is that? I think we all want to know that so we can bottle it.
Well, we don't live together.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's something. Okay.
It makes it easier, but I see her quite a bit.
Okay.
I have to say that I am proud of
Sure.
this man here.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave birth to him.
That's
I've
right.
seen him go through every stage of his life.
Right.
And when customers call and they don't know I'm his mother,
Right.
they don't know who I am.
Right.
When they tell me how he has changed their musical,
Yes.
life because
Yes.
their piano has never sounded like that before,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and
Yes.
he gets accolades. I am beaming with pride because
The same exact for me.
Yes.
I mean, she gets
Yes.
so many compliments by these customers, and I
Yeah.
pass it along to her. But
Yes.
I have pride when I hear that about her.
Yeah. So
Thank
thank
you.
you all for spending time with us and for sharing with my audience. Well, we hope you enjoyed that interview. Don't go away because we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Elevate Talk Show, and today we're going to be talking about tips you can use to get your kids to do chores and help out around the house.
Yeah. Doing chores has always been a main aspect of our family life. I've raised 4 children, and it was just one of those things I always incorporated into running the household. I felt like teaching my children to do chores at an early age and then just giving them more responsibilities as they grew up was really just part of helping them get ready for real life, because in life you're going to be doing all kinds of chores.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we wanted to talk about this because we thought that this would be something useful for you and your family. So Adriana, can you share with us the first tip you have for helping families to incorporate chores?
Yes, so our first tip is to create a chore schedule.
Definitely.
Kids these days have a lot of activities from, school to homework to extracurricular activities, and that can really make it challenging
Very much
to
so.
manage time and
Yeah.
find time
Yeah.
to do chores. So it's a good idea to make a weekly chore chart so that your kids can check things off and keep track of what they're doing throughout the week.
Absolutely. I know we did that with you, and with your brothers and sisters, even at an early age. Having a little chore chart, you can make them up yourself. You can just, come up with a list of things that you want your child to do and type it up, print it out on your own computer or on your own printer. Or you can even buy one. I used to buy some at the teachers. There was a teacher outlet store, and it was just a little packet that you could just kind of pull off, and put on the fridge, tack it to the fridge with a magnet, and we would have a list of things that you did. Remember that?
Yeah.
And and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but we would give you monetary rewards for every time you completed a chore. But it really helps to keep everybody on track. Everybody understands, the kid knows and the parents know this is what's expected of me on a weekly basis. So I really do think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and there are lots of apps
Yeah.
with digital chore charts
That's
that you
true.
can use if you don't want to have a bunch of paper.
That's true, and I forget that because you hate paper. And I'm old school. I always, paper's my go-to, but the digital apps are great too.
Yeah, and also saves you from the kid making the excuse of the dog ate my chore chart.
That's true. That's true. All right. Tip number 2: use allowance and fun activities as leverage. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Paying your child. Now, there are some parents, I've heard parents that said, I shouldn't have to pay my child to do a chore. Well, you know what? I think that's a bit unrealistic, because in life we get rewards for the things that we do. And I think that that can be something that can start early in life by paying your children to do the chores that they need to do around the house. Or deducting from their allowance, paying them when they do what they needed to do, but also deducting from their allowance when they don't complete their chores is really a good way to motivate kids to do their chores in a timely manner. Also, if little Johnny wants to play, 30 minutes of Nintendo or whatever those game systems are, but hasn't done his chores, you can tell little Johnny, look, when you finish sweeping the kitchen and taking out the garbage, you can play You can play 30 minutes on your little game thing, don't you think?
Yeah.
That's another good way to motivate your child. So I think that those rewards can be used to motivate children to do what they need to do to help around the house. What else do you have? What other tips?
Well, our third tip is to let your kids choose which chores they want to do.
I think that's important.
Yeah, I think so, especially once they start to get older.
Yeah.
I just think that, giving them some autonomy allows them to actually feel more personally invested
Yes.
in, maintaining the house.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we did that a lot with you. I mean, you did a variety of chores. But at this point in the game, you spend one of your chores is helping with the household, cooking the household meals. And at this point, you probably do about 65% of the cooking around here. And by the way, she's a marvelous cook. But it's one of those things you started doing early on, being in the kitchen right alongside me, helping to gift that, helping to clean up this, put this away, take that out, and so I think it's great to look at your kids' gifts, and certain things just need to be done. I mean, you do other things too. I mean, if the garbage is full, it needs to be taken out.
Yeah.
But I do think that giving them autonomy helps them to own the process, right?
Yeah, and it also just letting your kids pick the chores allows each family member to do
Yeah.
what they're best at.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got, one kid who's really good at organizing things,
Sure.
but they're bad at,
Yeah.
cooking or something,
Right,
you don't
or
want
cleaning the
them
bathroom.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want them to do the stuff that they're bad at.
And you may have a kid that loves the outdoors. Maybe they want to help mow the lawn, or work in the garden if you have a little garden. That's great. Let them pull the weeds. So I think it's just understanding who your kids are and how you can best use it. I think that as managers of the household, moms and dads as managers of the household, I think part of being a good manager is understanding your workforce, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea. Tip number 4: don't use chores as a punishment. That's something you talked about and mentioned to me. We've discussed that. Using chores as a punishment is not good because it teaches kids that chores are a bad thing to do. And chores are not bad. Work in and of itself is not this evil, terrible thing that we should be trying to avoid. It's a normal part of living. And you brought this point out. You said unless your kids' bad behavior is directly related to something that they did in the house.
Yeah, if your kid broke something,
Yeah, right.
or made a mess,
Yeah, right.
then it's reasonable for them to
Yeah.
have to clean it up or fix it because that's a part of making things right. But if they did something that has nothing to do with
Yeah, they got a bad grade at school.
Yeah, they got a bad grade or they said something mean to somebody, I
Right.
don't think it makes sense for them to have to clean the whole house.
Exactly. Swab the deck, paint the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah, it's like
you clean the toilets. Not that those things don't need to be done, but they shouldn't be assigned as punishment.
Yeah.
Because of some other bad behavior. I think that's an important point. And then finally, tip number 5.
Eliminate distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be really hard, even as an adult, to turn off the TV, put down social media, or
Yeah.
stop reading an exciting book and make yourself get up and go do chores.
Right.
So imagine how hard this is for a kid.
Yeah.
So it's really important to keep your children's hobbies and recreational activities into consideration when
Yeah.
you're scheduling your family chore times.
Absolutely.
So that you
Really.
don't have to pull your kids away from something fun.
Yeah, and that sort of goes back to what you were talking about as far as scheduling the chores and making it a regular part of a family routine, of the family schedule, rather than just randomly saying, while little Johnny is playing, with a friend, get in here and, sweep the kitchen. I think it needs to be something that's planned, because then it's more respectful and it's more likely to you're more likely to get your kids' cooperation.
Yeah,
don't you think?
if you know that your kids have a favorite show, or
Right.
they want to watch their favorite YouTubers
Yeah.
live stream at
Right.
5 o'clock,
Right.
then maybe the chores need to get done by
Yeah.
4 o'clock.
Exactly. So you want to keep all that in mind. Well, we hope that those tips are helpful, and that you'll be able to incorporate that into your family life. We're going to take a little break, but don't go away. We'll be back. Around the Town segment, we will be traveling to Panola Mountain State Park in Henry County, Georgia. Do you remember going to Panola Mountain State Park?
Yes, I remember it. It was a really nice trip, and they've got a couple of really nice lakes there.
Yeah.
And it's very pretty.
Very, very pretty. So take a look at our adventures at Panola Mountain State Park. This week's Around the Town takes us to Panola Mountain State Park, a 100-acre granite outcrop similar to Stone Mountain, but smaller. Just 15 minutes from Atlanta, it is a recreational haven for all ages and interests. Panola Mountain, located in Stockbridge, Georgia, is a part of the Arabia Mountain National Heritage Area and is one of only 3 National Heritage Areas in the state. A paved trail is open for biking, rollerblading, jogging, and dog walking, while forested fitness trails are open for hiking and running. A plethora of picnic tables and pavilions are available for eating, even as children work off energy at a nearby playground. The park also offers archery, orienteering, and tree climbing programs for adults and children. After stopping in at the Nature Center to look at some of the animals on display, we took a short drive over to beautiful Alexander Lake and snapped a few pictures. Visitors are welcome to fish at the lake, but they must provide their own fishing equipment. The park offers hikes led by park rangers like Jared Simpson, who teach about the rare plants and animals found in the habitat. Reservations are required for ranger-led hikes. As we were leaving the mountain, we passed by Varder's Barn, an iconic remnant of DeKalb County's rural past. The barn sits on an agricultural landscape that is a centerpiece of the Arabia Mountain National Heritage Area. Panola Mountain State Park is the crown jewel of the Arabia Mountain National Heritage Area, and it offers visitors an opportunity to experience a rare ecosystem just as Native Americans did centuries ago. Don't go away. We will be right back. Well, we are back, but our time together is almost up. But before we go, Adriana's going to tell you how you can share your stories, your comments, your pictures with the Elevate Talk Show. Adriana, can you tell them how to do that?
Yes, so to share your stories with us, go to the Elevate channel and subscribe. Then email your stories and photos to elevateytchannel@gmail.com. You can also become a friend of the Elevate Facebook page, and that will allow you to share your stories and photos with us there too.
That's right. And remember that the Elevate Talk Show puts out a new YouTube video every Sunday evening. So look for a new video for the show there. Also, if you go to DeKalb25.com, you can find our show on the website at 7 p.m. on Sunday evenings, every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. You can also find us on Comcast Channel 25, public access in Atlanta, Georgia, if you live in the DeKalb County Metro Atlanta area. So don't forget to check us out there. So our show today is about up, but thank you for being with us and have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.